Spurs 2. Clippers 3. Yes, I said Clippers 3.
Discuss that.
OKC 4.
Immediately discuss
OKC 4.
So the Rockets going to be the 5th seed.
OKC 4.
So the Rockets going to be the 5th seed.
OKC 4. The Rockets are going to be the 5th seed.
How many
Hold on, wait. Let me finish. OKC 4. OKC 4. The Rockets the 5th seed. Portland 6. The Timberwolves 7. The Nuggets 8. And I think that the Nuggets will actually give the Warriors a hard series in the first round.
So what's your reason for Houston being number 5?
For Houston being number 5?
And how many games are they going to win?
Let me see. Houston, I anticipate. Okay, Houston won 55 games last year. I think Houston comes in around 50 to 52 games this year. I understand that they look good right now, but we also have to think about who they were playing against.
What?
We also have to think about who they were playing against.
The same people they're gonna play against this year?
No, they played against a team in China and they played against the Pelicans.
Oh, you saw who they? Oh,
in preseason. So everybody that's on the Houston hype train for preseason, let it.
But do you think they have a better team than they had last year?
Let it happen, huh?
But do you think they have a better team than they had last year? And if you don't think they do, tell me how they don't.
I do think that they have a better team than last year, but I understand that it looks good in preseason. But James Harden and Chris Paul are two totally different players in terms of their mentality on the spectrum. The reason why DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin did not like Chris Paul was because they did not like Chris Paul's domineering attitude and the way that he felt as if he could yell and scream at everybody as if they were his kids. They did not like the way that he talked to them. They did not like the way that he interacted with them. And they did not like the way that he went about being a teammate and he always had the ball in his hands and he had to have the ball in his hands. That is like one of the most worst kept secrets for the Clippers. They did not like him. They had to fucking put a goddamn couch in front of the door in DeAndre Jordan's house to get him to sign the contract to not go to the Dallas Mavericks because he didn't like playing with Chris Paul. Chris Paul had to talk him down off the ledge in order for him to stay. So, I understand that it looks good, but that doesn't mean that throughout the season, he's not going to rub people the wrong way. And it still is going to take time. They still are going to have to become a better defensive team.
They're better defense now than they were last year.
Because last year they gave up 109 points per game.
They'll give up less this year.
How much less?
About 5 points less.
No. Five points less puts them... 5 points less puts them at 104 points per game. They're giving up more than 104 points per game.
No, when I look down the road, PJ Tucker is a very good defender. Chris Paul is also a first team defender. Even James Harden should be enthused to play more defense this year because he doesn't have to do as much offensively this year. Trevor Ariza is a very good defender. Also, Clint Capella. When we talk about our awards, which I think Clint Capella, I've said this millions of times, has a chance to be most improved player of the year this year. They have a better team. And also, I don't think it's a case, when we talk about guys, they can't play out the ball, I don't think it's a case of like you can't do it, because one of the ways that you should learn to play basketball is learn to move without the ball. Like, you should learn to do that. So I think they can do it. It's just that they've all been on teams where that's what was asked of them.
Yeah, but that's not. I disagree with that.
And also,
they could have had more ball movement for the Clippers, but even Doc said I couldn't run my offense the way that I wanted to because Chris Paul was there.
But look, we in Mike D'Antoni's offense now. We in
I understand that, but you still have to give it time to work.
Also, Chris Paul is also a knockdown shooter. If you leave Chris Paul open for three, it's going in. Chris Paul is a very good shooter. It just gets overlooked sometimes because he doesn't shoot that much because he's a pure point guard. So he gets kind of overlooked sometimes. Chris Paul is a very good shooter.
I'm not talking. I legit don't want to talk to you about Chris Paul.
Also,
I'm not talking Chris Paul.
Also, one of the things that I said all year last year would hurt them was that they take too many threes. And they don't have no type of mid-range game.
They're still going to do the same thing.
But listen. The fact that they have Chris Paul there is a guy, because again, last in the Spurs series, all that happened was they would run him off the 3-point line and knew that they were not going to stop and pull up a mid-range. They were either going to go to the rim and get their shit rejected or pull up for three and shoot a dumb three. Chris Paul can settle the offense down. If you pump fake, if you run out for three on him, he has a good mid-range game. He can pull up and hit a mid-range jumper. That helps you out a whole lot, because some games the three not going to be falling. So you need a guy who can work in that mid-range area and get you some buckets. Also, they should lead the league in assists. There is no reason this team should not lead the league in assists.
No, I disagree with that.
Gee, you got two people. Look,
The
you got
Warriors,
two people playing.
the Warriors have been damn near leading the league in assists for the past 3 years.
And they should be right behind them.
No, they shouldn't.
2-3 assists behind.
No, they shouldn't. Why? The
two
Warriors
people-
have better players at every starting position point on the floor.
You have two people who can both possibly average 10 assists a night. And you win Mike D'Antoni's offense. Chris Paul is going to average probably about 11 assists. And James Harden is probably going to average about 8 assists this year. 8, 9.
I don't know about that.
So it's going to drop. So he's going to go from 11 to 5?
I think Chris Paul is somewhere around 9 and Harden
So
is somewhere around
Chris
7.
Paul average 9 assists.
Yes, because I think that he's gonna try to put the emphasis on scoring more. The thing that also makes me not necessarily like this roster is you are now forcing Chris Paul to become much more of a scorer.
I mean, he always was more of a scorer.
No. We talking about get it done score.
In New Orleans, he was get it done scorer. Who the fuck else gonna score in New Orleans? Even in the Clippers, he was get it done scorer.
Look. Can you never bring up New Orleans again?
Okay, the Clippers.
Never bring up New Orleans again. Never bring up New Orleans again.
The Clippers, he was get it done score. Who gonna score? DeAndre?
No, you still have Blake out there.
Okay, that's it.
What do you mean that's it?
Chris Paul's still the second option.
No, I'm not saying that he's not.
So what's the fucking
No,
difference?
Chris Paul was the first option on the Clippers. That's the problem. He needs to be the first option.
I don't think he needs to be the first
He
option.
needs to be the first option. So I don't think that this is going to work. I think that Houston is going to wind up winning like 51 games, 52 games. I think that OKC is going to wind up winning 51, 52 games. And I think the Clippers are going to wind up winning 51, 52 games.
No.
And that 3 through 5 seed is going to do what it's been doing for the past couple years. Look, last year, Rockets 55 and 27, Utah Jazz 51 and 31, LA Clippers 51 and 31, Oklahoma City Thunder 47 and 35. That gap closes. It closes. And the Clippers have a way better team.
Can I give you my
Go ahead.
I think Warriors 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think Spurs 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think Houston 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think Thunder 4. I think Portland 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think Minnesota 6. I think Clippers 7. I think Denver 8. The only reason why I am not as high on the Clippers,
you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that because if the Clippers beat the Spurs in the first round, then that means that they wind up playing. They will probably wind up playing OKC, which means that they get to eliminate them, like I said they would. So I hope you're right.
You mean Houston?